Okay, let's get some questions from the audience.
I would like to know, how do you heal deep emotional pain, and how many sessions will that require?
You can never predict how long it's going to take or how many sessions an individual will require. Deep emotional pain has a lot of old experiences to it. What we like to do is realize that all emotions have a felt sense in the body. You might be feeling the emotions in your tummy, you might be feeling the sadness in your throat, you might be feeling the anger in your solar plexus. These are very individual. What we found is you run the energy into those places and it mellows it out, it softens it up. I've seen people having panic attacks, and you run the energy where they're feeling the panic. Again, it's what we call the where does it hurt technique. You surround the area, you run the energy through the area, and it will open up. People still have to process and release the old emotions themselves, but they can feel a tremendous amount of relief and benefit by running the energy into the parts of their body directly where they're feeling that suffering.
Thank you.
I have two questions actually. One is, can you do this to yourself? And the other is, what exactly are you doing? You've given us examples of lots of different applications of this, but for those of us who really are not familiar with it at all, what is the technique?
Well, let's start with the second question first. The method is that you're using a process of focusing on your body, moving that awareness through your body in a specific pattern. And then by linking that with the breathing techniques, we call that running the energy. So we're feeling sensation moving through us, and then we're linking it with breathing. And that raises our vibration, because energy follows thought. Wherever you're bringing your attention, energy is going there. And by sweeping through our bodies in particular patterns, we're able to focus that energy, and by linking it with the breath, it's sort of the difference between a 15-watt light in the closet that might light the closet, or a 15-watt laser that'll bounce off the moon and back. When you can focus the energy by combining the breathing and body awareness together, it's like the laser beam. We're aligning it. And that's one of the reasons we see such drastically faster results in the other modalities that we've seen, because we're able to amplify it. Can you work on yourself? Yes and no. Yes, in many cases you can do wonderful things on yourself, but it's generally not as fast, easy, fun, or powerful. But there are exceptions. There's many times when people have been able to help themselves, but there have been other times where it doesn't seem to work as quickly. And to try to understand that phenomena of why that happens, it's a little bit like self-love. You can give love to yourself, but sometimes it isn't as gratifying to buy the beautiful gift, wrap it, wait for that perfect moment, and give it to yourself, because it's too predictable. Your energy is more predictable to you than when it comes from somebody else that you didn't expect it from. When you receive it from somebody else, it's a real surprise to the system. Now, if you just bang your knee or something really badly, oftentimes you can give yourself a fantastic session because your body's not accustomed to the field of energy from the injury. But when Bob Rasmussen had the gallbladder attack, his own energy was his own energy, and that was part of the problem. So we all have gifts for each other. I have felt tremendous healing from a first-day great-grandmother working on me at a workshop, because as long as I've been running energy and as high as my vibration has become of being able to run the energy, there are many frequencies of love that I'm lacking in. We all have many different kinds of frequencies of love around us. Some people are very nurturing, some people are very protective, and so forth. There's all these different people love in different ways, and each quality of love represents different frequencies of vibration. And however much we become, there's still more out there that we haven't experienced. So it's possible to receive much more from another person than yourself generally, but that's not always true.
And what happens if we have no ability to visualize? Can we still learn quantum touch?
Absolutely. Visualization can be useful, but it's not an essential skill in learning to use quantum touch. I have lots of students from time to time who cannot visualize, and what I have them do is being able to focus inside their body, and they can feel the sensations just as well as anybody else. It's a little bit like working blind from time to time, but they can learn the work wonderfully well and do great work as well.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Richard, How long does it take to learn the course, and what career options would one have after that?
People can learn to use Quantum Touch in just the first basic video workshop or the live workshop. It takes about 2 days, a 2-day workshop, and people are succeeding at being able to run the energy and getting fantastic results even on the first day. They just get stronger on the second day. In terms of career opportunities, we have a practitioner program where people can become certified Quantum Touch practitioners and practice, and they also can become instructors and teach workshops around the world. We've got workshops in so many countries, I can't even hardly keep track of them anymore. So most people have not yet learned this work, and since it's so universally desirable to know how to do this work, it's a really huge opportunity for people to make a career around this work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do people get tired during the healing session?
With some techniques, like when I taught polarity therapy, or for some Reiki practitioners and other modalities, even Qigong, there's a possibility of becoming drained from doing a session. And I interviewed a lot of people in the different modalities and found out that that happens from time to time, and it happened to some of the polarity practitioners from time to time. It's not supposed to happen, but in truth it does. But with Quantum Touch, because we're constantly doing the breathing and body awareness, we keep raising our own energy throughout the session. Now, as I said before, when two things are vibrating to different frequencies, either the lower one comes up to match the higher vibration, or the higher one comes down to match the lower vibration. In Quantum Touch, we keep raising the vibration higher and higher throughout the session. And then when you're doing the session, they have to keep coming up to match you. But you never become drained because you never come down to match them. Now, if you don't have a good technique that's constantly raising your vibration, it's possible that the entrainment will happen, or the matching will happen, by you and the other person meeting somewhere in the middle. When you have a technique that continually raises your vibration, there's only one way it can go, and they have to keep coming up to match you, because you're never going to come down to match them. That's why people don't get drained from doing this work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've found, and many of my students have found, after going on to an advanced workshop, Core Transformation, that they've learned a technique that enables them to work better on themselves, deeper, harder. Could you elaborate on that and perhaps touch on the advanced workshop?
The Supercharging Workshop really teaches people how to amp up the energy. It's very yang, like the basic Quantum Touch, where you are focusing. Now, people who do Reiki, I say, what's the difference? And one of the differences, there's a number of them, besides not using symbols, but we're focusing. We're really using all our ability to channel and focus that energy, constantly raising it up. You give it your all in doing it. It's a more of a yang approach to making the work going. You're breathing and working, putting that power out there. And it's beautiful. It's fantastic. But then Alan Harriet, one of our advanced instructors, came up with an extraordinary way of moving the energy by allowing it to expand. It's much more yin. It takes me right to my center, right to my core, to be able to be that open. And I worked with him a lot to be able to get to that point where I could do it. It wasn't just like he said, okay, here's how you do it. He says, Quantum Touch, the basic workshop is as easy as falling off a log. And it really is. Everybody gets it immediately. The core is more challenging, but it also allows you to do work on yourself much more effectively and efficiently.